What's that?
2-year-old Doberman Daisy is scaring away guests.
She's a 70-pound Doberman, almost all muscle, so a lot of people get really freaked out by it.
So, are all guests greeted in the way that I was?
Yes.
Because she first of all came up to me and then she retreated. So
Exactly.
she greeted me, said hello, but then she was growling.
She does that all the time to people that she only knows a little bit.
Okay.
She's just turned 2 years old. I bought her as a surprise. I saw an ad somewhere, some classifieds, someone was selling Doberman puppies without papers, so it was a little bit cheaper.
Right. That old one. You have to be extremely careful. There is a really big difference between a responsible breeder and a backyard breeder who doesn't care about health and temperament. The more money the guy's gonna get, the more he's gonna breed his dogs. Okay, and you brought her home, and when did you first notice these behaviors starting?
She was a puppy. I mean, we didn't really notice it that much when she was younger because she didn't really get out much until she had over shots, so she wasn't really around other people. And she didn't really bark as much when she was really younger.
Okay, if a puppy doesn't have a whole load of great experiences around people and other dogs, then fear can start to come in.
Mike has invited his cousin Scott to visit to show Victoria why they are nervous hosting guests at their house.
He's a little scared of a Doberman. I think it's because he's intimidated. She feels his intimidation.
The name Daisy seems to be polite, nice, and sweet. She is, to me, not any of the above. Hi. Huh?
Oh,
Isn't she adorable?
No. Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't put, I just don't want you to put your hand.
Okay.
Just in
Yeah.
case. Daisy doesn't have a bite history, but I think if she was put in the position where she feels very threatened, I think she could react by lunging and biting at somebody. So Scott, do you get this reception then when you come in?
Well, it doesn't matter who's there, dogs or people. This is the reception I usually get.
Yeah, okay, okay,
So,
okay.
you know, this is normal for me.
Okay. So what do you feel like when she does growl at you? She's not comfortable.
She's trying to communicate that she doesn't like me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a good communicator, this dog.
And do you like her? Do you have a relationship with her? No.
I love her. You know, it's just whenever she sees me, this is tough love she gives me, which is, you know, kind of a warm fuzzy, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Michael's cousin, Scott, came over, and it's clear from the start that Daisy does not feel comfortable with him. Daisy is nervous when people come into her territory, and so she reacts accordingly. Oh, no, she's grumbling, isn't she?
She won't stop.
She won't stop. How does this affect your social life?
I'm guessing, I mean, people won't tell us outright, but they probably don't want to come over as much because of
They're scared of her behavior.
because of Daisy. They're a little scared. I mean, we know she's not going to do anything, but it is still really intimidating for almost everyone.
Okay, all right.
Hannah and I are coming up on our 1-year anniversary, and we were thinking of having a party, but it may not be a good idea because it just may be too stressful for everyone.
If they want to get their dog's problems under control, they'll have to get with Victoria's program.
First of all, Daisy, if you're going to get a purebred dog and you're going to go the route of a breeder, you have to do very, very careful research because the difference between a good breeder and a backyard breeder is massive. The really good breeder knows that the time between 3 to 5 weeks old, when that puppy is beginning to understand about social bonding, the good breeder is the person that nurtures that. Research has shown that 44% of dogs that haven't had the adequate socialization time before they're 16 weeks old can go on to have aggressive and reactive response in adulthood.
Thanks. I guess I didn't really think too much about it before. I thought that puppy mills were the worst thing ever, but the way she put it, I mean, even these backyard breeders are still pretty bad.
Then there is the fact of visitors. You want to have your first anniversary party, but you can't because you've got a dog that essentially has already got a label on it.
Yeah.
Doberman, oh, that's a big guard dog, that's scary. So of course people are freaked out and they don't want to come to your home, but that's sad.
Victoria wants to address the dog's anxiety around visitors with a little help from Michael and Hannah's friends.
I want to put a training in place that's going to help Daisy recognize that people coming into the home that are invited are okay. What I've got for you here is that you are gonna have a treat bag. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna throw the food on the ground. Basically, she's going to associate you with food. Oh, okay, so you're cool. Also, this is gonna be the bag you're gonna hang out on your front door for guests, because there's also a toy. But I think the most important thing is you don't have to say hello to her, you don't have to greet her, you don't have to touch her. Totally ignore her. She's gonna come up and smell you. She is not going to bite you. So we'll start with Nina first.
Good luck.
I know that Daisy's nerves are gonna get the best of her when, you know, the guests knock on the door because she just always does that.
You can hold her. That's it. Hold her back.
Come on in.
They're just excited. Hi.
As I walked into the house with the toy and the treats, I think it still made me a little bit nervous because I didn't know what was going to happen at that point.
Just throw, that's it, so that she can see you throw.
And the minute I started kind of throwing the treats, I saw the change in her, and it definitely made me feel a lot more comfortable.
There you go. Just throw it on the floor. Lovely.
Now it's Hannah and Michael's turn to coach Scott through the technique.
I'm a little nervous that Scott's coming in next, only because I know how Daisy is with him, and I think it may be a little bit harder to get her to relax around Scott, because sometimes just the sound of his voice just gets her growling.
Back, good. Let him get in.
Don't look at her. Take out a treat, take out a treat. Just throw it.
There you go. Keep doing it. Beautiful, Scott.
She growled a little bit at Scott, but mostly she was focused on the food, focused on the toy, and it felt really good to have Scott in the house, sitting next to me on the couch, and Daisy wasn't focusing on Scott and trying to kill him.
I've never seen Daisy act so nonchalant with me. I felt love instead of hate.
She's going to regress at times, and I think you need to accept failure as part of this healing process, as it were, but you are on the right track. Whenever somebody comes through the door, Daisy gets wonderful things from them, and that, hopefully in the future, is going to show her that guests that come into her house are okay.
For the first time since Victoria left, Hannah has a guest come over to practice the door training.
All right, so this is what you have to do. When you walk in the house, you need to not look at the dogs.
Okay.
Take a treat and throw it on the floor. Do it maybe like 4 times. All right, so here you go.
Thanks. Every time I come over, Daisy is crazy barking, so it just makes me really uncomfortable. I don't like to come over so much.
Go lay down. Daisy, shh, sit. Shh.
Hi. How are you?
Come in.
Hi.
Throw it on the floor.
Oh.
Okay, that's fine too.
Okay, that was a little better, but you really have to keep on top of it. You're allowing your dogs to jump up on the guests and you're not doing anything about it. One of the first things I noticed when I walked up to the door to see the family again was that there were no treats and not a toy out there for me to bring in for the dogs. Hello, I'm fine. But wait a second, where were the treats and the toys out there?
Oh my God.
Well, it's you, you're the treat.
Oh, good cover up, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
If I was a guest that Daisy didn't know and they'd forgotten to put stuff out there, then I don't know how she would receive.
Now that Hannah and Michael have accomplished all of Victoria's tasks, it's time for a trial run for a party.
Hey guys, do you want to come out here a second?
Okay.
Okay. What I've got out here, I have the toys here for Daisy. I've got the treats here for both of them. And also, here are the little instructions for guests when they come in. So everybody knows what they got to do.
Okay.
I'm going to take a stand back and I'm just going to watch what you do.
Okay.
If everything goes okay today with the dogs, then I wouldn't have any worries at all with having, an anniversary party or other parties at the house, because the dogs won't be an issue anymore.
Good. That's it.
Hi, come here. Hi. Don't look at the dogs. And if Cookie jumps on you, turn your back to her.
Now throw the treats, Scott.
There.
There. Good, Scott.
I was pretty shocked that Daisy didn't even growl at Scott at all when he came in. Like once he gave her the snacks, she just was looking at him like happy, and she just wanted the treats.
Just wanted the food.
Hi, how are you doing? What's up? How are you?
Hey, what's going on?
Lovely.
Okay, well, good. At least they're not barking at anybody.
Good.
It's pretty exciting. You know, the dogs are ignoring everybody. Daisy's kind of just hanging around us. She's sniffing people here and there. You really don't know she's there.
What do you think of this?
This is awesome. I just love that Daisy hasn't been growling at anybody at all once they came in.
And she's relaxed enough
Yes.
to play.
Yeah.
Yes.
That speaks volumes.
Yeah.
If Michael would have asked me about a month ago about the anniversary party, I would have said he's crazy. But now that Victoria's worked with Daisy, it's a good idea.
Everybody, thanks so much for coming. I'm so happy to have you guys here. It's nice and calm. Who wants cake? Now it's, right now from this test, I just feel like everything's been so calm and good and the dogs have behaved very well. So I think we can have more people here.
We had a neighbor come over today to visit, and the dogs acted very well.
I got some treats here.
Oh, okay. He did what he's supposed to do with the treats and the toys, and the dogs didn't bark at him.
Michael and Anna, I think you guys are doing very well with your dog.
Thank you.
She's acting very sweet.
I was very impressed by how well they behaved.
All right, well, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
If you keep this up, you're going to be able to have the anniversary party you've been planning. And you can also celebrate how well you've done with the training.
Good girl.